Hi everybody, how are you? Hope all of you are absolutely fine. Today I will continue the solution chapter. In my last class I discussed about Raoult's law. So today I will discuss the ideal and non-ideal solutions. The binary solutions may be classified into two types. One is ideal solution and another is non-ideal solution. Okay. So one is ideal solution and another is non-ideal solution. Okay. So today first we will discuss the ideal solution. A solution formed by mixing of two liquids A and B will be ideal solution if these have identical molecular size, structure and the attractive forces among the solute and solvent molecules are of the same order as that of the solute-solute and solvent-solvent interaction. However, no solution is perfectly ideal and deviations are observed. Now, according to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of the two liquids forming solution may be given as follows. Suppose two solutions we are taking, one is solution A, another is solution B. Then if we mix this, okay, then the pressure, that means partial pressure of A will be PA. PA is equal to PA0 into XA. PA is the partial pressure, vapor pressure of A, and PA0 is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid, and XA is the mole fraction. And in case of B, we can write PB is equal to PB0 and XB. So here PB is the partial pressure of the B, partial vapor pressure of B, and PB0 is the vapor pressure of the pure liquid B, and XB is the mole fraction of B. So from here we can write that total pressure, here it is written that P is equal to total pressure, that will be equal to PA plus PB. Now here already it is written that we know that PA is equal to PA0 into XA and PB0 into XB. So we know that the total mole fraction, that means XA plus XB will be equal to 1. So from here we can write XA is equal to 1 minus XB, then PB0 into XB. So if we just arrange it, then we will write PA0 plus PB0 minus PA0 into XB. So this is the expression of the total pressure of ideal solution. An ideal solution obeys Raoult's law under all condition of temperature and concentration. Now, what are the characteristics of ideal solution? An ideal solution should possess the following characteristics, that are, if we mix this solution, then delta H mixing should be 0. That means on mixing there will be no production of heat or there will be no absorption of heat. So for ideal solution, the first condition is that delta H is equal to 0. This is the first condition. And second condition is delta V mixing should be 0. That means delta V is equal to 0. Okay, that means the total volume should be equal to the sum of the volume of the two components. Suppose if we take 10 ml water and 10 ml alcohol, then if we add these two, then total volume will be 20. Okay, so delta V change of there is no change of volume, 10 plus 10 we are getting 20, so delta V mixing will be also 0. An ideal solution should obey Raoult's law at all concentration and all temperatures. Now we discuss the examples of such type of solution. Here for ideal solution we have to take the same type of solvent. Okay, suppose we are taking that benzene and toluene. Examples are benzene and toluene. So in this case, both are same type. Benzene, this one is benzene, you know, and this one is the toluene. Their structure is almost same, only one methyl group is attached in case of toluene. So here in this case only, if we add 10 ml of benzene and 10 ml of toluene, there will be no evolution of heat or absorption of heat, as well as their total volume will be 20, and this solution will obey the Raoult's law. Other may be like N-hexane and N-heptane, or we can take chlorobenzene, bromobenzene mixtures. Okay, that an ideal solution may be defined as that solution in which no volume change and no enthalpy change take place on mixing the solute and the solvent in any proportion. Substance having similar structure and particles, okay, they will show this type of ideal solution. Next we will discuss the graphical representation of the behavior of ideal solution. Consider two liquids. Here we have already considered A and B. They will form ideal solution. Now according to Raoult's law, we have already know that Pa is equal to Pa0 into Xa. Okay, so from here we can write Pa is proportional to Xa, and in case of Pb, it will be equal to Pb0 into Xb. So Pb is proportional to Xb. So thus the vapor pressure of the components are a linear function of their mole fractions. Now here if we take that Xa is equal to 1, okay, then only liquid A is present. Here in this graph, if we see there, where Xa is equal to 1, so only liquid A is present. Okay, here if we write the Pa will be equal to that Pa0 and Xa as it is 1, so that will be Pa0, that is pure liquid vapor pressure. Now when Xa is equal to 0, so here if we put the value of Xa is equal to 0, then Pa is equal to Pa0 into 0, that means 0. Okay, then only liquid B is present. So where is only liquid B is present? Here, this side. So this one is the graph. This axis we have plotted the mole fraction, and this axis we have plotted that vapor pressure. So here when Xa is equal to 1 and Xb is equal to 0, so this is the Pa0. Okay, that is the vapor pressure of pure liquid A. And when there is no Xa, that means Xa is equal to 0, then we can write that Pa is equal to 0. Okay, so where is Pa is equal to 0? Here Pa is equal to 0. So from here we can draw a straight line. So that when a graph is drawn between Pa and Xa, we get a straight line passing through Pa0 and 0, and it is thus shown by dotted line. Here dotted line is shown. Okay. Similarly, when this side, that means Xb is equal to 1, then pure liquid that B is present. So this is the Pb0, that will be the vapor pressure of pure liquid B, and when that Xb is equal to 0, then the Xb is equal to 0, that means Pb is equal to 0. So this will be this point. So here we can draw one line that is this line, that is the dotted line, that is the partial pressure of B, that is 2 indicating the partial pressure of B. So thus, when a graph is drawn between PB and XB, we get a straight line passing through PB0 and 0, and it is shown by the dotted line 2. So according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, we know that P is equal to PA plus PB. Total pressure will be the partial pressure, vapor pressure of A and partial vapor pressure of B. So from here we can write that will be equal to PA0 XA plus PB0 XB. So that will indicated by this line. Okay, that is the that line, bold line or thick line. Okay, that is the 3. So this line is obtained by joining the point PA0 and PB0. Okay. So from this figure, it is clear that in case of ideal solution, the vapor pressure of a solution of different composition lies between the vapor pressure of the two pure components PA0 and PB0. So what will be the vapor pressure? That will lie between this. So this line is indicated the total pressure of the solution. Okay. So hope you can understand the graph. Okay. Next we will discuss the non-ideal solution. Non-ideal Now, a non-ideal solution is that solution for which none of the component obeys Raoult's law. And here PA not is equal to PA0 into XA and PB not is equal to PB0 into XB. Okay. Now, in this case, the delta H mix is not 0. That means there may be formation of heat or absorption of heat. And delta V mixing is not 0. So, on addition of two liquid, okay, there may be increase of volume or there may be decrease of volume. Okay, so delta H is not equal to 0 and delta V is not equal to 0. That you have to remember. So a solution obtained on mixing two liquids will be non-ideal if the solute-solvent interactions are weaker or stronger than the solute-solute or solvent-solvent interaction. The non-ideal solutions are divided into 3 categories. First category, type 1. Type 1. In case of type 1, those solutions which show small positive deviation from ideal behavior, we can take the example of water and methanol system. Water plus methanol mixture. So this type of solution is showing small positive deviation. And next, type 2. In case of type 2 solution, those show larger positive deviations from the ideal behavior. Here we can take the mixture of ethanol and water. Ethyl alcohol and water. In such cases, the total vapor pressure rises to a maximum which is above the vapor pressure curve of each of the pure components. So mathematically, here what will happen, that PA always greater than PA0 into XA and PB is always greater than PB0 in xb. So in case of large deviation, large positive deviation, okay. So now what will be the total vapor pressure? Total vapor pressure P is equal to the summation of the partial vapor pressure PA plus PB. That PA plus PB is always greater than, so PA plus PB is always greater than PA0 XA plus PB0 XB. Now the positive deviation have been seen in the, but we can explain this positive deviation by this graph. Okay. Now this dotted line we are showing that the ideal behavior. So here also this is the mole fraction. We have plotted mole fraction on x-axis and y-axis the vapor pressure, and when x is equal to 1 and xb is equal to 0, that means this is the pure liquid A. So here the vapor pressure is PA 0, okay, and here also vapor pressure PB 0. So if we add this line by we join this by dotted line, then it will show the ideal behavior. But the thick line, okay, that thick line indicates the actual behavior. So it is showing the positive behavior. Okay, so vapor pressure or mole fraction curve, okay, of this. Here one thing I have to say, that here this dotted line is indicating that ideal partial pressure of B, but this one is showing that positive deviation. Here also in this case the PA, okay, this is the ideal, dotted line is the ideal and thick line is the positive deviation. Now we will discuss the type 3 solution. Type 3. In case of type 3 solutions, we show negative deviation from ideal behavior. Okay. So in such cases, the total vapor pressure curves dip to a minimum and the total vapor pressure is less than the value expected on the basis of the Raoult's law. Okay. So here another diagram is given here that is showing the negative deviation. This graph is shown here. Here this one is the mole fraction and this one is the XA is equal to 1, that means XB is equal to 0. So this is PA0, PA0 is the vapor pressure of pure liquid A, and this one is the PB0. So this dotted line indicates the vapor pressure of the solution, ideal solution, but this the curved arrow, okay, or this thick line, okay, that is indicating the negative deviation. Okay, so here always PA is less than PA0 into XA, showing that negative deviation, and PB is less than PB0 into XB. So hope you can understand. Now what will be the example of this type of type 3 solution? We can take the example of water and sulfuric acid. Water and sulfuric acid. Okay. So water sulfuric acid mixture will show the negative deviations. So hope you can understand. Next we will discuss the azeotrophs. Azeotroph is also called constant boiling mixture. Next we will discuss azeotrophs or constant boiling mixtures. Mixtures of liquids which boils at constant temperature like a pure liquid, such that the distillate has the same composition as that the liquid mixtures are called constant boiling mixtures or azeotropic mixtures or simply azeotrophs. Azeotropic mixtures cannot be completely separated into the constituents by fractional distillation. Azeotropic mixture is formed by those liquids which do not follow Raoult's law. Next we will discuss that type of azeotrophs. Azeotrophs may be two types. One is minimum boiling azeotroph, another is maximum boiling azeotrophs. And these azeotrophs are the non-ideal solutions. Either they will show positive deviation or they will show negative deviation. So first one is the minimum boiling azeotroph. Now what is minimum boiling azeotroph? Type 1 is minimum boiling azeotrophs. These are formed from liquids pairs which show positive deviations from ideal behavior. Such an azeotroph corresponds to an intermediate composition for which the total vapor pressure is the highest and thus boiling point is the lowest. One such example we can say that C2H5OH plus water, that means ethanol water mixture. So in this case, if we want to distill the ethanol and water mixtures and we cannot concentrate the ethanol more than 95%, that means in this case ethanol can be concentrated to about 95% by fractional distillation. So here we will write the mixture. That first one we are using that component water. In case of water, what is the boiling point? Boiling point is 100 degree centigrade, so it will be 373 Kelvin. Now, in case of component B, that means another component, we are taking C2H5OH. Now, what will be the boiling point of this ethanol? That will be 351.5 Kelvin. Now, if we mix these two, then the percentage of B, if it is A and it is B, then the percentage of B will be 95.57%. 95.57%. And what will be the boiling point of this azeotroph? Azeotroph boiling point, that will be 351.15. So here between these two boiling point, which one is the lowest? This one. So here this one is the lower than this boiling point also. So hope you can understand. And here one graph is there. So if I draw the graph, then you can understand. So here first we are plotting that the mole fraction. So here we are writing that mole fraction of water. Okay. Now this side is ethanol and this side is water, and this one is the temperature. Now in case of water it is 373 Kelvin, that is the boiling point, and in case of ethanol it will be 351.5 Kelvin. Okay. Now the Azeotrope boiling point we have just told you that will be 351.15 Kelvin. So if we draw the graph, then we will get like this. And this is indicating that azeotropic composition. Azeotropic composition. And this temperature 35.15 Kelvin is the azeotropic mixture boiling point. Okay, so at this composition we will get 95.57%. Here we will get 95.57% ethanol, that means ethyl alcohol, and 4.40% water. Next we will discuss the type 2 or another type of azeotropic mixture, that is called maximum boiling azeotropes. Next we will discuss maximum boiling azeotropes. So this type of azeotropes are formed by liquid pairs which show negative deviations from ideal behavior. Such an azeotrope corresponds to an intermediate composition for which the total vapor pressure is lowest and thus boiling point is the highest. Okay, so here we can take the example of water and HCl. Water and HCl mixture, hydrochloric acid. So now, in case of water, you know the boiling point. This is the component A, 373 Kelvin. But in case of component B, that is HCl, what will be the boiling point? Boiling point will be 188 Kelvin. Now if we take the azeotrope mixture, then in this case, what will be the percentage of B? Mass percentage, okay? Percentage of B will be, that means HCl will be 20.23%. And what will be the boiling point of this azeotrope? That will be 381.6 Kelvin. That is the boiling point. So here you notice one thing, that here highest boiling point, as water has the highest boiling point, that is 373 Kelvin, and here that azeotrope boiling point is greater, okay, than this highest boiling point. So such an azeotrope having boiling points higher than either of the pure components, okay, and here if we draw the graph, then you can understand this thing easily. Here it is showing the negative deviations. Okay, so this side we are plotting the temperature, and here is the mole fraction of HCl. Okay, this side is water, and here is the HCl. Now the boiling point of HCl is 188 Kelvin, and boiling point of water is 373 Kelvin. Now the azeotrope boiling point will be higher. Suppose this point, that will be 381.6 Kelvin. 381.6 Kelvin. So from here we can draw, it is showing the negative deviation. We will get a curve like this. and this is the azeotropic composition. Now in this azeotropic composition, what will be the percentage of HCl? That is 20.23% HCl, and water will be 79.77%. So from this diagram we can easily understand that maximum boiling azeotrophs. Okay. Now the composition of these azeotrophs is remarkably constant at any given pressure, and however on changing the pressure both the boiling point and the composition of the azeotroph will change. So today up to this, and next day we will start the colligative properties. Thank you.